could be better. Hello everyone, welcome to In the Armchair. Today we're going to be reviewing a new Netflix movie, which is a Western called The Harder They Fall. Now, I'm a guy that loves a good old-fashioned Western. In the last 30 years, I'd probably say the best has been 3:10 to Yuma, Unforgiven, and Hateful Eight, if you want to classify that as a Western. What's some of your favourite Westerns of the last 30 years? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button. Now, I heard about this project a while ago and I was very interested, mainly because of the cast. I don't watch trailers on this channel because I find that it tends to just spoil the movie. Now, there's too many people to name, but the big players are Idris Elba, Lakeith Stanfield, Jonathan Majors, Regina King, Zaza Beetz, Delroy Lindo, Damon Wayans Jr., just to name a few. Fantastic cast. And Harder to Fall is essentially a Western revenge tale telling the story of Nat Love, played by Jonathan Majors, who's trying to track down Rufus Buck, who is played by Idris Elba. The opening scene was dramatic, it was impactful, it very much gave me that old school Western feeling, and I was just like, jeez, what a way to start the film. You've got my attention instantly. However, from then on, it's pretty much a standard revenge thriller, except this one has got black cowboys. It just must really have a thing for them at the moment. And speaking on that, I appreciate the fact this was a predominantly black cast and the film wasn't about slavery, racism, or the hoods. I'm getting tired of seeing those sort of films, and this was refreshing. I'm glad alternative stories are being told about black people, because the fact is, black cowboys did exist, they just didn't write them into any Hollywood movie back in the day. Now, I mentioned The Hateful Eight earlier, and that's obviously written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, which leads me on to one of the things that I initially liked but then got overused: the stylish camera shots and movement. It works in some films when it's used subtly, but here it was over the top, it was overdone, and it just felt like a Tarantino ripoff. It's even similar in terms of the text used. There's a scene where they're talking about going to a particular town, and one of the characters mentions it's where the white people are. Now, when they actually go to the town, it says Maysville. It's a white town. Now, for some people that might have put a smile on their face, they might have found that mildly funny, but for me, it just felt forced and unnecessary. This was the same thing with the dialogue. In some places, it really stood out, like the train scene with Regina and Lakeith. Fantastic writing, fantastic dialogue from start to finish. But then in others, it felt a bit muddy and disjointed. There were comedic elements thrown into it, but again, it felt just too much like Tarantino. He always has these satirical scenes in his films where it's actually serious, but it's quite funny at the same time. They are distinctly Tarantino. So anything that's remotely similar just comes off like you're trying to copy him. Maybe you're paying homage, but I just felt like I was watching an almost Tarantino film. I touched on the plot previously, which was bare bones. That's fine with me, but I would have liked a bit more character development. I would have liked to have known a bit more about Nat and Mary's relationship. It would have been nice if we would have delved a bit more into Rufus Buck. He's not really featured that much in the film. We only see him as this intimidating, menacing character, but I think there's a lot more that could have been done there. However, for once on this channel, at least I can say the action was shot excellently with conviction and is easily the most enjoyable part of the film. For a first-time director, James Samuel, I take my hat off to you. Yeah, I know I don't have a hat. The action scenes are complemented beautifully with the soundtrack, which again is one of the best things about this film. It just added that extra weight and intrigue to each scene. It's not often I can say I went straight to Spotify after a film to download the soundtrack, but this was one of those instances. Considering its cast, the acting was just okay. It was solid, but there was nothing spectacular. There was nothing amazing here. It does have its fun moments, but equally there were times when I was clock watching. It's a long movie, but it never really delves into much, so I felt like the pacing could have been a lot better. So you can see where I'm going with this. There was nothing original here. It had the elements and potential to be better, but it just wasn't. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please don't forget to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and watch some other videos.